Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and this is my 31 days of horror movie reviews, and oh boy, oh what the F. I just got done watching Midsommar. This is a 2019 film that was directed by Ari Aster, and if that name sounds familiar, he also directed Hereditary, which was widely praised and just this huge critical darling when it came out, almost other than me. I was one of the few people who said, yeah, I don't care for this movie for reasons that I still think are justified. This film, I didn't know what to expect because I once again heard great things about it, and so I thought to myself, oh great, is this going to be a horror film that everybody is going to love, and I'm going to watch it and say, this BS again? Well, let's find out. The plot is we follow Danny, who she just had a horrible, tragic event happen within her family. So she's very sad, very screwed up for obvious reasons. And her boyfriend, Christian, plans on going away on a trip with his friends. And so he brings her along. And he's not really feeling the relationship anymore. He's kind of sort of thinking about maybe breaking up with her. It's just the timing isn't really working right now. So on this trip, they go to Sweden. And they're supposed to participate in this festival and have fun and do drugs. And of course, as you do. Until you find out that, alright, maybe whatever group that they're in isn't exactly a fun-loving, welcoming group like they thought. It might be a cult. And there might be some weird-ish going on. Now, what I think of Midsommar is, yeah, I didn't care for it. I didn't. And I feel like it's very similar to why I didn't like Hereditary. I think Ari Aster, look, I think he does have skills. He is a very good director as far as the way he shoots his movies, as far as the way he sets up his stories and sets up his characters to make you latch on to them, especially with real life messed up tragedies or situations within the family. Like, for example, this Danny character played by Florence Pugh, what happens to her is so heartbreaking that you feel for her, why she is so sad, why she is so heartbroken. And then top onto that, her boyfriend treating her like crap because he clearly isn't as interested anymore. He's sort of over her, calling him all the time or being up his ass, and him and his friends, especially his friends, wanting him to just move on or leave her alone or break up with her, go be with another girl. And so you can't help but to feel really bad for this girl. The actress I liked a lot. I think she not only pulled off that vulnerable, sad side without being pathetic, you do feel bad for her throughout the whole thing. I seen her very recently in that Fighting for My Family movie, Fighting with My Family, where she played Paige. Her boyfriend Christian is played by Jack Rayner. I remember seeing him in that horrible movie. I forget what it was called. Dennis Quaid played his father. Michael B. Jordan was in it. James Franco. I'm sure people remember what movie I'm talking about. He's fine in the film. It's just his character is written to be a dick. So I guess I didn't find myself feeling all that bad for him. Will Poulter plays his friend Mark, and Will Poulter, whenever I see him in movies, I always get impressed with how different he is in every film, especially when you first remember seeing him from We're the Millers, such a dork, and then he was an a-hole character in the Maze Runner movies, and then he was a scary cop character in Detroit. So, and then even now where he's just the friend who's kind of a dick. William Jackson Harper plays their friend Josh, and he's sort of the token black guy, but they gave him a little bit more to do as far as how much he was into finding out about this culture, finding out about what exactly they did with their history, their mythology. The idea of traveling to another country always scares the living hell out of me ever since Hostel. I'm sure there's a bunch of other movies that, like, when you think about having to leave the country and you're in an environment where you don't know anyone, you don't know the language, you don't know the costumes, you don't know what they think of Americans. It's nerve-wracking. I've only left the country once for one trip, and in retrospect, I probably should have been more scared, but in the moment, you're not. You kind of feel like, all right, I'm in safe hands. So you watch these movies and you think, man, you know something bad's going to happen to them, but you want to relate to them. You want to understand why they're not freaking out more. There's so many scenes where bad stuff is happening and you want to smack them and shake them and say, get the F out of there. But of course they don't. Of course they think everything's fine. Of course they want to stay and continue their trip. And you just go, you're all going to die tonight. And of course most of them do. Now, when you see this festival, when you see this group that they're participating in, the drugs and whatnot, none of that really sounds all that appealing to me. I don't know. I'm sure people are into it. I'm sure there are people who have done various things, and hey, more power to you. But man, nothing about this trip seems appealing to me. Nothing about this seems like something I would ever want to do. So there's a strike there. But once it's obvious that this is a cult, it's a pagan cult, it's something that's really into some demonic stuff, yeah, I don't... Ari Aster clearly has some fascinations with cults, and all of them now have this downbeat, depressing ending where, you know, nobody that you're supposed to follow is smart enough to get out of situations, or nobody that you're following overcomes any evil. It's just we all succumb to evil. We all, bad things will happen. And I've talked about this before in other horror movies where I'm getting sick of that. I'm getting sick of horror movies that has these downbeat, depressing endings. I'm ready for movies where the good guys win again. I'm ready for feel-good moments. I know that not every single movie will have it, but it seems like an overabundance. And Ari Aster, this film is getting great praise, great reviews, great things said about it. And like I said, it's well acted, it's well shot, it's well directed, it's well set up. But I do think there is a portion of the story that is lazy. I do think the ending is severely lazy, severely predictable, severely we've been there, done that 1,000 times, and I can't really say great things. I can't. I'm gonna come down and give this... Oof, yeah, okay, it's some old bullshit.
That's some old bullshit.
Sorry, guys. I know there are people that are going to say I'm crazy. I know there are people that are going to say, how can you like this movie, but you don't like this particular film? I know that there are going to be people who say that this is their favorite horror film of the year or whatnot, and that's cool. That's fine. In fact, let me know in the comments below. Do you disagree with me? Is Midsommar a great horror film to you? Tell me why. What do you like about it? We can talk about the ending, and we can talk about why I don't like it. Maybe you do. Or do you agree with me? Do you agree that it's typical? It's the same stuff over and over again. I want to see more. I want to see this guy do a horror film that has a different type of ending, because I do think it's becoming cliched, especially with his movies. Let me know. I would appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.
Souls taken over by a devilish path. You got me walking on broken glass. Kicking down the door with a Jason mask. With a deck, don't machete, but you motherfuckers know it's heavy. Anytime you're ready, you can get you with a Bowie. Setting up the